also broken off. Here is your gonadal artery, and this is then called a testicular artery in the male. So it's right here, and yeah, it's right here. So looking at the male reproductive system, you've got this, whoop, are we out of view? I've got a little scrotum in my hand. And let's see if I can. Did you pull any of these out? Are any of these pulled? This one? Is this one pulled all the way out? So I'm pulling the testis out of the scrotal sac, or trying to. The epididymis is kind of lower on these animals, so this is epididymis here. This part here is all testis. This is where the seminiferous tubules are, and this is all epididymis. And the epididymis comes up and becomes the vas deferens, and the vas deferens loops up around behind the bladder to go into the back there and form part of the urethra. It looks like your penis is still covered up, so I haven't. You left it covered. Okay. So then we'll go back to the blood vessels for a second. So again, iliolumbar artery and vein right there. And then this continues on. This is going to branch. So now the inferior, or the abdominal aorta, is going to split to form the common iliac arteries, and the inferior vena cava is going to split to form the common iliac veins. Then it looks like, if you look in the very, very middle, right here, you can see it right here. See right here where I'm pointing? Can you see that on the camera? There's a little tiny blood vessel, artery and vein that go straight out. Those are the median sacral. Do you see them? They go straight down from the middle. These are the median sacral arteries and veins that are referred to up there. I'm looking for an inferior, or an internal and an external, and I can't find it. This looks like an umbilical vein right here, but I can't find the internal and the external. I think it's broken off. Did you guys find your internal and external before? Looks like it's broken off. Anyway, it continues on into the leg as the femoral artery and the femoral vein. Right there. You should be able to see the internal and external iliacs, but I don't see them. It should be about right there. Looks like it's broken off. Alright, what else? Small intestines, you all know that, right? Small intestines, you all know what those are. And somewhere in here, there's the large intestine. Somebody asked me about the cecum the other day. It's easiest if you find the appendix. And you guys have disguised your appendix. What'd you do with it? So here's the cecum. Here's the appendix right here. And then here's the cecum. This first part. I think that's it. I can't find those internal. Esther, you guys didn't have internal iliacs and external iliac veins and arteries? Stem. So the brain stem leading to the medulla oblongata in the very back. Okay? So you'll notice that on the outside of the brain, there's a really, really tough membrane. Do you see that? Kind of pull on it. That's the dura mater. The dura mater. And the dura mater is the one of the toughest of the coverings surrounding the brain. It's the outermost covering surrounding the brain, and it is the word dura mater means tough mother. So this is the tough mother. Okay, and you'll notice when you look at the tough mother at the top of it that it actually goes down. If you look at the side, you'll see it kind of goes down in between the two hemispheres of the brain. That region that goes down is called the falx cerebri, F-A-U-L-X-C-E-R-E-B-R-I, the falx cerebri. So the first thing that we're going to want to do, well, actually we can look at the bottom first, and then we'll cut it in half. So looking at the very bottom of the brain then, you're going to see something really obvious. You're going to see this thing that kind of looks like it has a mustache. Or maybe if this were the eyes, like a little insect person with arms, right? Okay, so these two things here are the optic nerves. These are the optic nerves, and they come and they cross, and you'll see in a minute where they cross. They cross right here, and this is the optic tract where they cross. Okay, right below that, where my thumb is right now, that is the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland is right here. Thank you, Vanessa. You beat it out of him, huh? All right. Right up here on the top, this part of the brain right here on the top is the part that's sitting right up above your nose, right near the ethmoid bone. And so this on each side is the olfactory bulb that allows you to smell. So olfactory bulb, whoops, optic nerve, right? Optic chiasma here, optic chiasma, and then this would be the pituitary. And then coming down, going toward the brain stem. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this. And I can tell you right now that some of these are really mushy. So you can see I'm just doing like a mid-sagittal section, or as close to mid-sagittal as I can get. Kind of trying to go through the longitudinal fissure if I can. I missed it by like a micrometer. All right. So I'm looking at the top of the brain again. I'm looking at one hemisphere now. As I pull this back, as I pull this membrane, this very thick membrane back, I'm going to maybe have to cut it again. You can see that underneath it, there are a lot of convolutions on the surface of the brain. And everything that is bumped up, everything that's bumpy, that's called a gyrus. And everything that's going down is called a sulcus. So many bumps are called gyri, and many of these grooves are called sulci. And you can see this brown material represents blood vessels that are going through that portion of the brain. This outermost surface of the brain is kind of hard to see. I don't have a... Somebody have a... No, I don't need a probe, I need a hemostat. Somebody I can pull with. I'm not sure if it'll work, but it kind of looks like it might. There's actually a little tiny thin membrane right here. This is right sitting on top, called the arachnoid mater. And then below that, you can just see pieces of it right here. Below that, the final layer that's actually indissectible from the surface of the brain that I'm touching right now, that layer of the meninges is called the pia mater, or the gentle mother. It lays right on top. Watch your fingers, Kevin. He's cutting it sort of weird. Okay, just don't want him to hurt himself. So you can pull this off, and I'm going to try to do it. This is always a challenge without cutting off or tearing off the optic nerve. Now, when you take these off, there are some cranial nerves that are attached, and it is possible that you might actually detach the cranial nerves, and they might wind up inside the dura. So be really careful. Don't be upset if that happens, because it happens to everybody, probably me too. Scissor?
We have it.
Okay.